bringing a baby into the world, you ain't got time to make YouTube videos or really too much be on social media like that if you're not a graduate. You're not a high school graduate. So
Tommie is not the only black mother, and her daughter is not the only black high school student who is experiencing the traumatic effect of early sexual behavior. And there's something that we can do about this. This is a community crisis, and we all know it. And thank God that we are now becoming even more conscious. Hello, I'm Kathleen Harrod, and I am your conscious coach. I am also the author of the book, So You Think You Want to Have Sex, a conscious guide to help us teach our children sexual responsibility.
I feel like if you don't have the money to even pay for the doctor to deliver your baby, you in some serious trouble, my love. You in some serious trouble, because not only are you going to need that times 10, you're going to need a million other things. You're in trouble. What be the plan? What is a teenager's plan? What is the teenager's plan for a baby? You can't get bringing. It's going to wind up with the short end of the stick. It's the baby. And I know, because my kids got the short end of the stick.
First, let me say, I feel her pain as a mother. I was a teenage mother. My mother was a teenage mother. My daughter was a teenage mother. I feel her pain. I feel the pain of her daughter, because I didn't have the tools when I was a child to help guide me in the right direction. And this is a cry. It's a cry out for help. And this book is going to help us facilitate the change that we need.
Because guess what? I made a promise to God, if he get me out the streets and I don't gotta hustle no more, that I will take anything that I'm doing serious. Lord, just please get me out the streets. Please get me out the streets. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to look over my shoulder. Please.
I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me well. 2 words I want you to remember: struggle story. Struggle story. Struggle story. That's what happens when you're a single parent and you're trying to make ends meet. You get into these bargaining things or deals with God. You're trying to make it. You're struggling. And that is a big issue, a big problem.
And guess what? He did it. He always show up and show out. He did it. So now guess what? I got a whole career. Boom, out of nowhere.
Now I want you to hear something that I know you probably never heard before. We're going to have to get used to not asking God to deliver us from things that we never should have gotten into. I don't say that with a critical voice. I say that with constructive criticism, with an awakening. We're going to have to stop doing behaviors that put us in these situations where we enter into these struggle stories, and then we have to ask God, beg God to help us. It's a behavior we need to break.
I can't be with my kids 24/7. I can't watch every hair grow out their head 24/7. It's impossible, because I gotta grind, because I gotta take care of them. These are the things I'm trying to tell you, to let you know this is what you gotta prepare for. This is what is a real reason to bring. You know, if it don't nobody.
Okay, before we go any further, we have to identify right here, right now, a pattern. Okay? The pattern is set in motion. You had a baby. You had a baby when you were young. Now you have to work. Single parent status. Now you don't have time for the baby. You understand? That's a pattern. And the devil gets us locked in, because when you have a baby and you're a single parent and you have to work, then you're not there for the baby. Guess what? Your baby's going to have a baby. And the pattern continues. I'm telling you, this is time this is identifying our time is now to break the cycle and end the struggle stories.
Listen, I was a young mom. My mom was a young mom. I ain't old enough to be nobody mother grandma. I'm not old enough to be nobody grandma. My mom wasn't old enough to be nobody's mom. We keep making the same for a handout. Never. I have 35, probably 40, 50 mug shots. And they all for getting money. They all for getting money. And that money went to my children. Not only did I raise my children, I raised my mom's children. I was a mother to them too. I'm not going to get personal about what's going on, but one thing I can.
Let me tell you what we're doing. And thankfully, she's seeing the pattern. I saw the pattern in my family. You've seen the pattern in your family or in your community. You know that this exists. The problem is we're not doing anything about it. So the pattern 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 keeps going. This book is a cycle breaker. It is going to break.
If you don't have the money to pay for a doctor, then we're not even gonna get into where you live at, where you stay at. We're not even gonna get into that. You don't even have the money to pay for the doctor who's gonna deliver your child. You don't have a career. You have not finished school. Like, these are all the things teens need to think about. Like, when you ultimately.
You know what I love about what she just said? She's bringing into play what my book is all about. Thinking, teaching our children to think. And as a conscious coach, my job is to help us develop our conscious mind. Help your teen develop their conscious mind. She's talking about thinking. She's talking about planning. She's talking about figuring things out. And this is what we have to do. We have to start thinking, not just in our head, but actually writing down and coming up with plans and teaching our children advanced thinking processes.
Oh yeah, he's whispering in my ear, we're having sex, he wants me to have his baby. If somebody asks you to have a baby, they already don't respect you. And they already don't value your life. If that's all you can see for me, if you're not whispering in my ear while you're fucking me, that you want me to be the greatest bitch in the world and you want me to win and you want me to be successful, you're already going down a wrong road. Is this. I could put it to you like this. The reason why I feel so strongly about that opinion for females to have a say-so about their body is because this is something that you are never going to be able to undo. You're never going to be able to undo having a child. And
now, let me tell you this. Number one, I could agree with her on a lot of what she just said. The only part I can't agree with is he doesn't need to be laying you down, having sex with you, telling you anything. He can tell you standing on his feet. He can tell you without the presence or existence or request for sex. And when you hear him not say anything about creating wealth, being in a healthy relationship, finishing school, all the things that you want to hear someone say when the relationship is healthy, that's your exit. And my book talks about that. How to build yourself up in such a way mentally that you learn to not attract that type of attention.
I've come from a broken home. My brothers came from a broken home. A lot of my peers came from a broken home. And it caused us to make some weird decisions because ultimately our parents wasn't there. And we didn't have no role models. We didn't have nobody to look up to and things like that. So basically, you're not given a manuscript on how to parent. You're not sure is this given a manuscript on how to handle X, Y, and Z. There's no book out when you in that labor and delivery room. It's no book out to show you when you leave here how to address X, Y, Z. You get what I'm saying? So me,
didn't I tell you about pattern? Didn't I tell you we were going to have to break the cycle? Didn't I already tell you that over 70% of African American homes are single parent homes? If you're in a single parent home, the parent has to work. If the parent has to work, the parent is not there for the child. If the parent is not there for the child is likely going to have a child. And the cycle starts all over again. This is a pattern. And the reason why we have such patterns, well, there's a lot. It's very complex. But
I would rather a teen live their life, because I was a teen and I had a baby young, and I didn't have nobody. I didn't have anybody to tell me this or this is what you should do or that's. I didn't have none of that. So ultimately, my decision to my child that I think so highly of and that I love is that I don't want her to ever face the things that I face.
At the end of the day, I feel their pain. I know their struggle. I can identify with what they are going through. And I'm saying they because the daughter is in as much pain as her mom. Can you feel that? I read the interactions between Tommie and her daughter, Samaria, and I might be mispronouncing her name, I'm sorry. But I felt that. I understand their need. I think, and I know Tommie loves her daughter. Her daughter, I know the daughter loves her mom. And I understand what she's saying about us making these weird decisions. You know, I'm much older now. And when I look back at my childhood, I'm like, why would I even make that choice? Why was I even interested in sex? Why didn't I know? Why didn't someone tell me more? Give me direction more. Help me more. And so that's why I wrote this book. Because just like Tommie just said, I don't want any of our children to go through what so many of us have been through. Can you imagine your son at 17 being on child support? 17? I know a guy here in St. Louis who committed suicide because he started having sex early. And by the time he was 25, he had 4 children with 4 different women. He was working 3 jobs and child support was kicking his butt, and he committed suicide. We say we keeping it real, but we're not. We're not keeping it real about the struggle story, about how real it is to be a single parent, how hard that really is. And I wrote this book for us. Specifically, I did. I'm just being honest, just being real. I wrote it for Black people. Because we went through slavery. We went through, and we're still going through, racism and discrimination. And all of that, along with so many other things, has oppressed us and put us in this position where we're recycling. We're basically recycling what racism and discrimination has done to us. It's weakened us. It's stripped us of our fathers in the home. With mass incarceration and the violence and all of that, our homes are being stripped, and we have to find a way to to break the cycle. And this book, So You Think You Want to Have Sex, is a tool to help us do just that. Thanks for sharing, Tommie, and thank you to your daughter. You guys, I believe in you. I want to help you. This is a turning point. This is a turning point. This is a turning point for all of us. This is Kathleen Harriet, your conscious coach.